What's up, guys? Dane Davis here. Shout out to Boogie Bentley Dauber and the Indie Kid over at Talkin VAWLS Network on YouTube. VAWLS fans, head over to their YouTube channel, Talkin VAWLS Network. Smash that like button and subscribe, baby. Go Big Orange.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and we are just a day away, 1 day away from the third Saturday in October. And man, it's honestly been eerily quiet this week. Not a lot of talk about Tennessee's matchup with Alabama. Beginning of the week, we're talking about the finale to the Ole Miss game, the aftermath. We talked about how the fan base was able to turn a negative into a positive with the donations, the fundraiser for the East Tennessee Children's Hospital. A lot of attention on Hendon Hooker, his status, his injury. Nobody is talking about this football game. Nobody. As a fan base, do you guys think we may have peaked for the season last week with the game against Ole Miss, Checker Neyland, the atmosphere, the energy, coming away with a loss? You know, we talked about how maybe a turning point. Not necessarily a turning point. It's not like Josh Heupel, oh, I'm checked out now. But it was an opportunity to go and get one of those wins that this fan base is in desperate need of. So I think maybe we did peak a little bit last season as a fan base. Don't get it twisted. I expect this football team to go down to Tuscaloosa, and they're going to compete. It's who they are. It's in their blood. It's their identity. But I don't think anybody in this fan base is expecting a win. And I saw even one Alabama writer make the statement this week that Nick Saban is never going to lose to Tennessee. Pretty bold statement there. Hard to argue with, though. Hard to argue with. Old VAWLS JP over in the Talkin VAWLS Facebook group, he's believing. It's early. It was a Thursday night, so JP's got that fire in his eyes. He's believing. He thinks it's possible. But what about you guys? Does Tennessee have a chance on Saturday night? Do you really believe they have a chance? Do me a favor, as always, go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. If you would so kindly press that thumbs up, helps the channel, helps the analytics. If you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We are exactly like you guys. We are fans that just so happen to have a YouTube channel. So if you enjoy the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live, when we drop new content. We are going to do a Talkin VAWLS tailgate show tomorrow, about an hour and 15 minutes before kickoff. So I hope you'll tune in to that. We'll take you all the way up to kickoff, break down the game, let you guys come on. It's a fan call-in show. You guys can come on and we'll hang out, talk a little ball football. And then also, as always, we will be live immediately following the game. But I wanted to just, talk about the third Saturday in October. It's a game, it's a rivalry game that for people my age, it tends to be more leaning towards Florida as that big rival because of, the late 90s, early 2000s, when the SEC East always seemed to be on the line between Tennessee and Florida. But if you get a little bit older than my generation, Alabama is the game. People hate Alabama. But this rivalry goes all the way back to 1901. First ever meeting between Tennessee and Alabama ends in a 6-6 tie. It's been a series of streaks, a lot of ups and downs, but it has been very streaky. Alabama, of course, right now, currently in the longest win streak, 14 straight wins. 14 straight. That's why when I go back to what the Alabama writer said, talking about Nick Saban never going to lose to Tennessee, it's hard to argue. Are we beat down as a fan base? It's been so quiet this week. There was so much energy last week, and we talked about the caller from the Swain event, calling in and saying, this is what it is supposed to feel like. Last week is what it is supposed to feel like. It's not been the case this week. I'm as guilty as anybody. I don't have that confidence. I wanted to share this article One of the listeners in the Talking Balls Facebook group posted it, so I'm going to take a look at it and kind of talk a little bit about it. Nick Saban evaluates rivalry with Tennessee. State of VAWLS rebuild. Nick Saban has seen significant change in the rivalry with Tennessee in his time at Alabama. Crimson Tide are on a current 14-game winning streak. Saban has studied Tennessee and shared on the SEC Coaches Media Teleconference how he sees Josh Heupel and company. I'm sure you can take one wild guess where this is going to go. It's typical Nick Saban. The quote here says, I think Josh Heupel has done a really good job of making this team play really well. It's a big game. It's a rivalry game for us. Says, even though there's a lopsided streak in the series, Saban contends that this week is important. He says you can say it however you want to say it. It is significant if you don't have success in the game because it's significant to a lot of people. It only matters what happens now this week. It's a rivalry game for me, and I hope it is for the people in our organization. Says, along with the success on the field, Saban notes that Heupel and his staff have done a good job with roster management. Says they have good players. They've done a good job of overhauling and getting some players in who could make an immediate impact. They've done a really good job of that, and they should be credited for the job they've done to retool and get players who can do well in their system. Now, some people say, oh, wow, Nick Saban says this. Wow, Nick Saban has confidence. He said the same thing about Derek Dooley. Said the same thing about Butch Jones. He said the same thing about Jeremy Pruitt. This quote means nothing from Nick Saban. Means nothing. But do you believe it? Do you believe that Josh Heupel is doing a good job? Because I do. It does feel different. But I also said the same thing about Butch Jones. I said the same thing about Jeremy Pruitt. I am a fan. I believe. I buy in. I want Tennessee to have success. But this does feel different. What Josh Heupel is doing feels different. Which is why when we talked earlier in the week, we talked about what do you do with Hendon Hooker? A guy that's banged up. He's worked his way in practice. He is making some plays in practice, doing some things. I saw where they were saying it is just a deep knee bruise. What that tells me, if there's no ligament damage, it's about pain tolerance. Can you go and play through the pain? Makes me think that Hendon Hooker is going to play on Saturday. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just my opinion. That's my thought. But I think this football team is going to go down there and they are going to compete. They are going to give their all. They slap the sign when they go out of the locker room. To some people, it's just a tradition. To others, it means something. Giving your all for Tennessee means something. Is what Josh Heupel is doing. Is it different? Is it different? I feel like last week's game was so big to give us a little confidence. And yeah, I mean, I have confidence because of the way they play, the way they play, the way they compete. They have not quit all year long. Got down big, never quit. Got down big to Florida, never quit. The next couple of weeks are going to be tough. Alabama, then the bye week. You got Kentucky, you got Georgia. The next few weeks are going to be huge for me buying into Josh Heupel. But what it's really going to come down to is the offseason and recruiting. Next year is really going to be crucial. What does Josh Heupel do in year 2? Recruiting, transfer portal, all that is going to play such a big factor into how much success Josh Heupel is going to be able to have here. But again, just an interesting article. We've seen it before. We've heard it before from Nick Saban when it comes to the coaches at Tennessee. But guys, it's the third Saturday in October. Are you excited or are you just kind of cruising through the week? Like I said, all last week, man, there was this anticipation. There was this almost anxiety, nervous energy going into that game. All week long. This week, I've not felt any of that. Can Tennessee go shock the world on Saturday? Is it possible for Alabama to have a letdown after a dominant performance over Mississippi State? I was talking to a listener of the show. We were talking after Alabama lost to Texas A&M. We both thought the same thing. Thank goodness Tennessee does not play Alabama after that loss. You never want to play Alabama coming off a loss. But after the performance against Mississippi State last week, is there any chance of a letdown? Every writer, every national media person, they're all picking Alabama. They're picking them big. I think it was like a 29-point spread. Are you just cruising through the week, or do you think Tennessee has a chance? Leave me a comment, guys. Let me know if you have not done so yet. Please smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Don't forget to join us live before and after the game tomorrow. Enjoy hanging out with you guys in the live streams. Also, you can check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' VAWLS Network. Just go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin' VAWLS. Any and all support, greatly, greatly appreciated. I want to thank you guys again. Cruising right past 9,000 subscribers, on the road to 10,000. So you guys help us do that. Share the videos. Tell somebody about Talkin' VAWLS. Word of mouth is the way that we grow this channel. So we appreciate all the support that you guys give us. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
Don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama.